try. Okay, so I'm going to take blue. I'm going to try and just extend this bit first, but that is real watered down on there before I got to that. So white is going to be, yeah, white is going to be happening all throughout. And that's going to have to really, I really want that to fade. So I'm making sure I've got a lot of water as well, yeah. And there's something on my floor, just so you know. Make sure you've got something on the floor. Actually, I need to, yeah, because it's not quite on the floor. Yeah. So I'm needing to water because I want this to blend back into where I started. And remember, you've got your dry fingers, kind of like erasers. Now, I think with this part, it was a very light blue. I'm just gonna, I've got a little bit of white and blue on my hand. I'm just gonna put that in there because I don't want this to get any darker as we're going this way. So I'm just gonna fill that in with what's on my hand and water, because I don't want, like I said, I'm gonna try and clean this all the way into like a grey and then a black. So, and then if you're running out of paint because you want to cover it, you know, you can pull it from somewhere else. And that's the thing, because you can feel it because you're using your hands, you know where it's wet, you can pull the paint down. You can feel where it's thick as well. And so you can use your senses, which is great for your brain. Alright, so that's good. I'm even going to use a tiny, I just said I wouldn't do this, a tiny little bit of black on my finger. Now when I say tiny, this is a very small tube I'm just literally going to touch it. It's very small now because I want to turn this grey. I'm probably going to need to add white because it's not, yeah, I can do just a very tiny bit more. You may not be able to see that. I can barely see it close up. I'm going to try a different angle. Now that I have the iPad, I think it's going to be easier. Maybe I'll try, oh, this is already watered down. Sometimes I do that and I don't realise. I've already watered this paint tube down. Okay, so I don't want the grey to go too far. So I'm just going to turn this little bit at the bottom into like a grey, a blue grey, so that it can transition into black over here. Is that better? Can you see behind better? I'm going to try like a completely different angle next week. I'm still not satisfied with the lighting. Alright, next, just looking at what I have. It's sort of like there is a little bit of purple that comes down there. So I'm going to get purple. I'm not mixing a purple because I know that this purple's in there, and that's the pearl purple. Oh, it's very crusty. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's so stuck that it can't come out. That's fun. Oh. Enjoy. I mean, fun if you're not. I'm gonna get that out. It's not helpful. Little boogie. Alright, now this is a dry paint, as you just saw. Dipping that straight in there. Hands wet. Actually, I've got way too much now, but anyway, we'll just, I don't want this much. So I might bring it back this way, because there is more of it over here. And it can just, oh, there's purple. Just doing some lines. Like that. This is the metallic, so I don't want to, like I don't want that to be like, I guess, a base colour. I just want to highlight spots with it because it's quite shiny. It looks beautiful, but it's overpowering if you just use that. And actually this specific one, well, probably most metallic paints, when you start mixing it with non-metallic, it gets, you know, it loses its shine. So we'll just drag it a little bit. I'm going to just put it over here and here. Just highlighting some spots. Now I've got less on my hand, probably still too much, I'm going to wipe it. Because I want this bit here, I've wet my hands again, as you can see. That's going to be, just pulling it in back where it came from. There's a lot of water going on here. But I've given this one actually a drippy effect. I don't know if you can tell. I'll show you up close at the end. But the drips are here. Like, so I'm not caring if I'm getting water. It's kind of a cool effect to have if you have to paint somewhere dry. Like today, it's so dry. You can feel how quickly everything's drying compared to normal. I'm going to do this tiny bit of black again. Ooh. I'm making a real mess today. Yeah, I think I may have said it to you guys once already, but I did a wedding once. I painted at someone's ceremony. It was quite a warm day and it was outside, and yeah, it was really hard to paint that quickly because it was like, yeah, I had to make sure I did it like before it dried, and it was so hot. I had to use a lot of water. I had a lot of like, yeah, I must have had like a jar, and I just had to just keep going. Alright, so next I'm going to bring this part over. This is going to have a bit of, I'm going to have blue, and then white, and then blue on the outside again. So I've got white, actually in this instance, because it's quite a large area, I could probably even squeeze it on like I showed you before. And if you get it over where you didn't want it, you just make it part of it. I know we've probably said that a million times, but so I'm just going to squeeze that because I'm really just going with that. Blue, tiny bit of blue because I don't want much blue, but I do want a lot of white, so I'm just going to have blue, blue, blue. Oh, I've got too much blue again. So that's going in there. Ah, it's not what I really wanted it to do, but that's okay. Whoops. See, it's all improv. Like, I'm even improving an old painting. It's probably not exactly the thing to learn first off, because it is quite hard in some ways to just let go of what you're doing and not care. But it's a great skill to learn so that you enjoy painting and you're not like, oh, this doesn't look right. Who cares? Just go for it. Just have fun. Alright, so now I've got my white. That's so thick. I want to blend that out. You can see I'm using all my hand now because I've got a larger space. So I'm just blending that out. And then, whoops, I've hit the blue. That's okay. It's not much. Once you've got it kind of where you want it, I realise that no one's probably doing the exact thing I am, so my instructions are probably useless. But, okay, so this blue is dried already. So I can't wet it again because it's been done recently. I can see how I've wet it and it's come back to life. That's not going to happen over here with the stuff that's been there for 2 years, but you can wet acrylic again. If you do it too much though, it does start to pull off what's underneath and it can be a bit ugly. So you need to be careful how much you do that. You'll get the hang of it if you do this often though. You start to learn how far you can go. See how that makes like a beautiful blend when it's wet though? It just, and then I can drag because there's already that white there. Oops. We can just drag it into that white and then wetting my hand again and just getting that white wherever I need it still. How's that? Now, I'm going to try this again, the black. I just realised how wet it is, so I'm going to do it over the table. Oh crap, that's probably too much. Because I want this grey, I want this turning into grey from about here. So I'm going to blend back that way with this black. Because I want, yeah, this to eventually go into like a full black. Looks messy now, but you'll get there. Now it's hard when you're trying to meet black and white. I wonder if anyone's interested. I might do a poll in doing a grayscale class. It's very fun, I find. It's satisfying, but see how every time I pull it that way, because my fingers are black, I'm taking it further back, which is not what I want. I don't want to go back that way. So I may need to go back over this with some white. I don't want to go too far yet. You don't really want to blend it in too far. That, you know, that's not where you want that colour anymore. It's like I said, you've got to be so careful with black. Getting it where you want it and such. Okay. I'm just going to work it into the edges even. Oops, I keep getting that so runny. I need to not walk in that. Last time I think I was like, remind me not to walk in that. I walked in it, of course. I found some purple paint on my floor. Oh crap, it's not working. It's not doing what I want. I need the old wet paper towel, I think. Okay, back to it. It's hot. I'm warm in here. I've got a very low ceiling now. I can feel like the warmth above my head. How crazy. It's so windy outside though. I'm like, it's quite a bushfire day. And then yeah, like I can't believe it's going to be like 10 degrees cooler this week now. It's so crazy. That's spring for you, I guess. Alright, so looking at that, it's not really what I want. But am I sad? No. We don't get sad about those sorts of things. We just keep going. What I need now is white because I don't want that grey. I need wet hand because I want to blend and it's drying very quickly. You probably wouldn't always need this much water. I need a lot because I'm going over a big space and it's dry today. So I'm going to try and erase that or at least blend it into this a bit more subtly. That's better. I need to hold it because it's you hold it onto this canvas. Now as soon as I go down, I'm doing it again. I need to remember not to go back up. Try and make like a bit of a line even here where you don't want to go, you know, yeah, actually what am I doing? No, white again it is because I sort of want, like this is blue, I don't want to start going grey until about here-ish. So that grey, that way, has just crossed the line. It's just gone too far. I want it to be, yeah, like here onwards is going to be grey. So that means I need white from that line that I just made forwards. It's a bit mathematical, isn't it? Not that I'm very good at maths, but you know. It's just, we want to circles like this. If I want a flat colour in a spot, that's going to help. If you're using a canvas, it's a lot different to paper as well. I'm not sure if anyone's using a canvas or paper, but paper you're not going to have, the thing with a canvas is you're going to have dimples that you need to fill with paint. So if you are painting canvas with your hands, you're going to need a lot more obviously, but yeah, you're going to need to really blend that in to get a flatter surface and to cover it all. You might need another coat, which is hard to do in this situation. Alright, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm at a bit of a loss. This is why I was like, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's not working. It's getting there, but I feel like I'm not satisfied with that. See how long I can just be like, I'm not satisfied. Until I'm like, see you guys, I'm just clocking off so that I can just throw it at the wall. I wouldn't do that. But like, you know, sometimes you're just not in the mood to like fix a problem. It applies to all areas of life. Sometimes you're just not in the mood for problems, so you just throw them at the wall. That's not a very good coping skill I'm teaching you. Sorry, that's not really how I handle problems. I just think, well, with art, sometimes you just need time. Like you just need to let it sit and think about how you would do it differently to try and make it work better next time. I'm sure I've said that to you before. Like, you definitely need that space of like, okay, I'm not doing any more of this, which hence is why I've been pulling out all these old canvases that I'm, you know, showing you guys, because it's like, I don't know what I'm doing with this now. Okay, bye. Put it away. I've got a lot of grey here now, which is fine, but I might even go back to our colours again now. My hands, maybe you need more than 2 paper towels as well. I'm just going to wet it. I'm not using any paint now, and I'm just going to start from the top, and then just going to move it down. Like this. I might even have to let this dry and then get back in there with black because it's looking very grey. I can only really see it from the screen, but yeah, it's not my favourite thing I've ever done, per se. See, it's like you can do it once, but then it's on your hand. Okay, so catch those drips, but I'm going to leave the drips. This is what I mean, like when you over, I'm going to bring it up closer at the end, but when you over wet a canvas that already has paint on it, these flecks here, that's water. I like the effect on this, it suits this painting, but it may not be what you're looking for. So what I'm actually going to do with this now, this spot here, particularly around this area here, I want that white. I don't want it grey, but at the moment I've got grey. It's okay because I'm wanting to blend into grey eventually. So when I get this done another time, I'll just use black and white, and I'll start from that end black, and then I'll stop probably around here, and then maybe even further, and then I'll slowly bring white in. Because remember what I said, especially, so if you're adding black or a dark colour to anything, it's going to change it very quickly. But if you're adding black and white together, it is going to change it very quickly as well. So if you're doing like a grayscale, even though it seems pretty logical that it would be like equal because it's black and white, right? White, of course, always is going to get quickly overpowered by black. So you could have like, you know, this much white, and to make that into a grey, a tiny bit of black will make it a grey. If you have a big chunk of black and you're trying to make a grey, you're going to be adding like 1,000 times that white to get the grey. Does that make sense? So always start sparingly with your black. Like you saw, that was literally like splashes of this little tiny thing had water in it. It's still got water in it. And that wasn't much at all. So yeah, you definitely don't need to go hard with black. Wow, everything's lid's open. But I'm just going to put quickly, white's still dampish, and that's the other thing, it's drying so quickly, it's very hard. I'm just going to get that blue again, because I don't want to lose the colour bit here. The grey. Does that make sense? I still want a little bit of that in there. It's so dry already. Yes, I didn't pick the best day for this skill, did I? It's just a little bit too hot in this state. If you're in Adelaide and it's 12, it's probably good. You've probably gone well with this one. I mean, I'm not jealous, sorry. Don't miss the winter there. Or the spring, to be honest. Spring here just feels like summer. But I do miss, I honestly miss, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I miss summer in